Hello, guys. We are on night 2 of Dive Into Director. We have Katrina Anderson and Casey Miles. They will be going over 3 legs of success and trainings, the importance of those. And I'm just going to hand it right over to them.
Hey, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Casey Miles. I am the director over the Sunflower Tribe. I promoted to director in March. And I'm really excited to talk about the 3 legs of success. Most of you, how many of you actually know what the 3 legs are? Most everybody should and have a copy of it. Yeah. Okay, so you know that there is the sales portion, which is PRV, sponsoring, and coaching. And then the top is the self-care. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on PRV because most every single one of us should know where our PRV is coming from, how to get it, and what to do if you're slow, like how to push outside of your comfort zone to try to bring in more PRV. So we should all pretty well understand that. But your PRV comes from your parties, whether they're bag parties, home parties, or like you set stuff up at a station, that's kind of considered a bag party too. And then events, which would be your, I guess, going to like your local farmers market, setting things up there. So that's the biggest thing. The one thing I do want to touch on is, because this kind of is, in my opinion, goes along with the systems I want to talk about with coaching, is your customer follow-up. If you do not have a system for your customer follow-up, your PRV will lag because you're not making those constant connections with your customers. So that's a big deal. I actually have my, right here, I don't know if y'all can see it, but I have stars next to that because it's a really big deal to keep following up with your customers. They need to feel your value. And then also starred next to that is Cincy Club. Who has people in Cincy Club, not your Cincy Club, but customers in Cincy Club? There's a lot of people that aren't on video. So if you have people that are customers that you know order the same bars or the same scents or the same laundry detergent from you every month or even every other month, you need to be talking to them about Cincy Club, because that is a guaranteed PRV for you that you wouldn't actually have to work for. And once they get used to the Cincy Club, and I think that that's the one thing that customers don't understand, they don't know what it is, or they don't understand it. But once somebody gets the understanding of Cincy Club, a lot of times the Cincy Club orders get larger because like, oh, I want that bar, I'm putting it in there, like our Bring Back Our Bar right now. So if you're not pushing Cincy Club, that would be something that I would encourage you guys to do often, talking to all of your customers about it, because that's going to set your PRV. And that's one less thing that you have to worry about as you become a leader and as you become, as you have more people under you that you have to focus on. You don't want to be worried about where your PRV is coming from. And then the last one is, of course, the specials, the LTOs, and the whiff boxes. Those are meant to, as Orville would say, those are meant to, like, I guess, supplement our PRV. It's not what we need our PRV to be based off of. We do have a whole lot of them, and it's awesome to have those, but some months we may not, or there's some months that you may have customers or people that aren't interested in it. So if you live on the LTOs and the launches for your PRV, it could get you in trouble. So I'm going to move on from that. I'm going to talk about sponsoring, because sponsoring, I feel like, is one of the major legs. If you're looking at the 3 legs of success, it's the one that looks like it's in the very front. Sponsoring is something that you have to do intentional, you have to do constantly, consistently, and it has to be something that you get used to hearing no, and that it doesn't phase you. The only way that you're going to grow a large business for yourself is if you are consistently sponsoring. You can have all the PRV in the world. You can have 10,000 PRV every single month. You will never get the paycheck that you want if you're here to actually go to the top unless you sponsor. There's no way around it. The way that you grow as a leader, well, of course, as a leader, but as a business person, to get to the levels that you want, you have to sponsor. You cannot promote without a team. So just looking at the 3 legs of success, sharing the opportunity constantly. That is not spamming your people and going, hey, you should join my team. Or every time someone goes, oh, your job sounds fun, yeah, you should join my team. It needs to be an authentic, genuine conversation that you're having. It needs to be the way that you're sharing it is not you should join my team, but you're talking to somebody and be like, yeah, I really love my job. I get to work from home. I get to stay at home with my kids, and kind of spark their interest on what you're doing. Or if you have a customer reach out and you're talking about products, you put the little bug in their ear going, yeah, I got my Beauty and the Beast warmer, well, the little pots warmer or whatever, or like a warmer that they want because we can't get LTOs on discount. Where's one? The little aloe vera warmer. Oh yeah, I was able to get paid back on that. Well, what do you mean? What do you mean you're getting paid back, or you're getting paid back on your LTOs? What do you mean you're getting paid back on that? You get to share that. Like, yeah, I placed a huge order for myself, but then I actually didn't pay that much. People want to know how things are going to benefit them. And that's an interest spark, like an interest grab right there. Sharing your lifestyle and experiences. This one was one that I had to get used to. So right now, and I've talked a lot about how I'm rebuilding my brand, because most of you know, and if you don't, I actually lost my whole entire social media base on Facebook. Facebook took my whole entire profile away from me. And so I'm actually having to rebuild my intended audience. I'm having to rebuild my followers, all of it. I lost it all. Even the people in the groups that I had that I was reaching out to, that I had conversations going, because I lost my Facebook Messenger too. So I lost everything. So I am learning now what it truly means to share your lifestyle. So what does that mean? That means when you get your paycheck and you are able to go get your nails done, you take a cute little picture with your daughter going, oh, look what Cincy did for us today. And you show a picture of your nails, make it beautiful, make it fun, make it engaging. I actually had someone comment today on one of the things that I shared this past week. It had nothing to do with Cincy, but they're watching us. They're like, wow, your life is so adventurous. I am the most boring person on the face of this planet. But because I was intentional about the photos that I'm sharing and the different things that I'm capturing, that's capturing people's interest. And they're going, wow, your life is so adventurous. So what am I going to do with that? I would turn that around and be like, yeah, Cincy is such a blessing. It has opened so many doors for my family. And they're going to go, well, what do you mean about that? And then you get to tell them, okay, well, I've actually been able to bring in an extra 500, 600,000, even 150. I was crying when I was making $150 with Cincy, because that was buying diapers for my kid when we were struggling like that. I came on live and was like boo-hooing. That's also sharing your lifestyle. It's showing up to your people that are watching you, not necessarily just your customers. When you're going on live to share the things that Cincy has done for you. So yeah, when I first started a year ago, I would go live and I literally would cry on a live with Facebook, because I had just gotten a check and I was able to go and buy some diapers for my kiddos because we were struggling financially, because that was a huge blessing for me. And I had people reach out and be like, man, I could actually use an extra $150, $200 right now. Okay, cool. Let's talk about it. Then you have the opportunity to offer them a discounted kit if you have a qualified party, always. So that's one of the things too, that I'm sure that we've talked about with everybody. Everybody knows to have an open party with them. And your experiences. So SFR, even though it's online, like Whitney was saying, even though it's online this year, it was last year too. The pictures that Whitney and them took when they went to the destination, that is the experience that you get. When you get to go to Disney, those are your experiences that you get, that you work really hard for, that people need to see, because other people want to join successful people. They want to join people that are excited about their company. We might be sitting in our home this year. If we can't find a babysitter for our kids, I might be able to go to South Carolina. I'm still working out those details. But if I don't, you better believe I'm gonna be taking a picture of that strain. I'm gonna be excited with my husband going, oh my gosh, look, I'm actually looking into shirts for me and my husband right now that we can match. Those are the experiences that people want to see. They want to see that you're so excited about your company and what you get to do, that you're willing to take a picture of a television screen and share it with them and be like, oh my gosh, this company has blessed me so much, that you are willing to sit at your house for 3-4 hours and watch what they have to say to you. Or if we were in person, that you get to go to these destinations. I think it was supposed to have been in North Carolina. Wasn't it North Carolina this year? It was Charlotte, wasn't it? Yeah. We were going to get to go to Charlotte, North Carolina, and be around all of these other amazing people, and everybody's welcome at SFR. You don't have to be a certain rank or title or whatever to be there, but we would get to go and celebrate, and you would get to see things, and people get to see the excitement on your face of being able to share this experience with so many other people. They want to see that. And if we're not sharing it with other people, why do they want to join your team? They have to have a reason why, other than you just saying, hey, you need to join my team. But why? You never share that you love it. You never talk about how it's blessed you. You never do this. You never do that. So that is what the lifestyle and experience sharing is. And then sharing your story. I know that this past Tuesday, when we were at our last meeting, Paige and Anya talked about sharing your why. I've been with Cincy for a year, and I've shared my why probably 5 times over the last year. Why? Because it keeps changing. And every time Cincy blesses me, my why comes out of my mouth, because I'm experiencing the things and I'm working towards the things why I joined. And so every time I talk about the blessing, I talk about the why. And I know that being live, like, I am literally sweating to death being in front of all of you. I'm not a public speaker. I hate being in front of people. Like, I'm literally shaking. But people want to see your face. I mean, let's take the example of me sitting here talking to you. If I turned my picture or turned my video off, it would be a completely different experience, right? They want to see your face. So when you're sharing your story and you're sharing your journey, it's going to have a lot bigger impact with the people in your audience and your followers and your customers if you're on a face-to-face live with them than it is typing it out. And I get it. Going live literally turns my stomach, even in front of people that I know and trust. In my team group, I still have to take a deep breath, close my eyes, and push go live, because it terrifies me. I still stutter over my words, but you know what? I'm human, and I show up and I do it, and it gets easier to push that button each time you do it. Like, it just does. But let's see, the way that people connect, yeah, and how they get to know you, yeah, they're going to get to know you better face-to-face, especially if they're able to type in while you're talking, than they are if you make a post. I'm not saying posts are not beneficial, but I'm saying a live is much more beneficial, because they get to see the emotion that you bring behind what you're saying when you're live. So that's a big deal. I'm going to encourage you guys to do that again. And then the few other ones are the dream team list, the list of 100. So the way that you're going to make your dream team list, and if you guys didn't know that Chloe Cox and Justin Cox are the ones that built this 3 legs of success. And when you hear them talk about it, it changed the game. And it literally, if you walk through these steps, it will help you and guide you to build your business. The dream team list and the relationship building. You're going to have to make the list first before you start the relationship building. And the way that you do that, and Anya has talked about this, is you intentionally scroll, whether you're on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook. You have to intentionally scroll, look for the people that need the blessing, and then build a relationship with them. It's not, oh, they could use it. Let me spam their inbox and go, hey, you should join my team. It's literally, hey, and I think I was talking to somebody about this. It's literally, oh, hey, I saw you and your daughter went to Chick-fil-A the other day. Me and my daughter did the same thing. We had a girls' day. It was so much fun. Did you have fun on your girls' day too? And if they'll come back, oh, well, we didn't actually have a girls' day. Be like, oh, well, that's cool. Well, what did y'all end up having? One of my favorite things is, the kale crunch salad from Chick-fil-A and a sweet tea. You build that relationship by building the conversation. And one thing that I'm learning a lot about this is you want to drive their approach back to you. Never leave like just an ended conversation. always leave it open for them to comment back, and always give them the opportunity to talk to you about your products and the opportunity instead of forcing it on them. Because as soon as you do that, it changes the conversation from getting to know them and wanting to be in a relationship to them and about them to you. As soon as you bring that up, it changes it, and it changes the whole dynamic. And that's when I feel a lot of times people will ghost people because they didn't take the time to get it authentic. I promise you, the relationship or through that relationship building, the conversation will come up. They are going to ask about your products, and they're going to ask about what you do because they already know. They know that you sell Scentsy, and they're going to be watching you. But the way you get in front of them is commenting on their stuff and building that real relationship and waiting. Nothing in life or anything in life worth having is worth waiting for. So if you have a dream team list, Kendra, I love you. Even if it takes them almost a year to join, it's worth it. And I'm going to use her as an example because she's my best friend. I can. When I first joined, she literally told me, don't talk to me about your products. Don't offer me the join. I don't want it. I love you, but I will not support you in this. And here she sits as a lead consultant. It took her almost a year, but I loved her. I loved her through it. Like, she's my best friend, whatever. But I respected that. And I never, ever once said anything. Even when she moved into her brand new house, I was like, oh, you need a warmer. I never even opened that door because I respected her wish for me. And she came to me. I think you said something about waxes and warmers. I'm like, okay, well, you need to do a party. And then it was like, whoop, there it was. That's where the conversation happened. Yes, a lead who wants to be a director, absolutely. So it's taking that time to build a relationship with your dream team list. So you need to have that list. You need to know who you're talking to, who you want to bring on to your team. The list of 100 and networking consistently. So I actually never did a list of 100 because that overwhelmed me. That's like a really huge number. And I still do what I do. Every month I will go through and I'll choose 20 people for the month. So I had to break it down, but I knew with breaking it down to that smaller number, I could connect with them easier and I wouldn't feel so overwhelmed. If you can do the 100, cool, do it. If you need to do 20 a week, do that. If you need to do 20 a month, do that. But the thing with having the list of 100, and that's like your list of 100 that you want to possibly be on your team. For me, it's people that I want to become my customer that eventually will possibly join my team. And it's a running list, and Kendra's name was on it. It's marked off now. Love you. You know what I'm saying? But it's a running list. And it's not, this list is not something that you need to do out of a greedy heart of, I want them on my team so I can grow. It's literally making a list of people that you know that this business can absolutely bless, or that they could rock out and be amazing at it. And it may change. You may even change your mind about people on your list. And you're like, yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know if it would be okay with them. But the one thing that people say is you never get to make somebody else's decision for them. Even if you think that would not be a fit, you don't actually know what that person, given this opportunity, is capable of. So never count someone out unless it's just absolutely like y'all have a really bad falling out and you're just like, oh, I cannot, like that, me and that person, we can't be in the same team. Nothing, like we just don't click. Because you can't train someone that you're not like meshing with. It's just how it is. But pray about it because you never know what the Lord can do. The last thing is systems for setting up new team members for success. So this is one that has been an evolving thing in my life. I have actually moved everything into email because it's easier for me. It's easy for me, especially because I do have 4 kids at home and I want to get something in their hands immediately. They get every single thing that I would send out in one of these in an email. And then I took what Whitney did. I think Chloe did it first, and I created that grid of links that they could go through to click on. So they get that, then they get docs inserted into the email, and then I write like an email out to talk about who I am, their sponsor, the director, all of that. It's an email that I can send quickly that I already have in Google Docs drafted out, because I want it in their hands quickly. And then I will send them a little thing like this. This is what has been evolving for me. Just because some things I like and some things I don't, and I've had to change it. But for the most part, what I have in it now is just, it's simple things. I mean, we share this, and I can share this after we get done. But it's the compensation plan for sure. And they get a 3 legs of success. Congratulations for joining your business card, handwritten card right here. And then the scent and warmer of the month thing. I put a business card in there, and then I'm ordering some Scentsy hair ties to throw in there. It's super, super easy. But I'll take a picture of that and show it afterwards. But that's a system. That's a system for onboarding your people and having it ready to go and all of the information in their hand. And then I am one-on-one with them for the first 70 days because I want them to succeed. I want them to have access to anything that they need. And part of that is the guide to growth. So I'm sure all of you know what that is. The next thing is coaching. And that goes a lot along with what Katrina's going to talk about with training. And it also talks about systems. You have to have systems set up. And that's another thing. We all have our strengths and we all have our weaknesses. Systems is something that I struggle with because I am do something a lot and put a pin in it and move on. Like I really think that I have adult ADHD and I just haven't been diagnosed with it because I can be doing something really, really good and then get distracted and never go back to it. And so that's something that I'm still really focusing on. But I do have a system that I follow to make sure that my teammates are successful. And it usually consists of me telling somebody what I'm going to do that week. It's my accountability partner. And they help me. They help me stay on track. A lot of times it's John, which he's sitting over here. My husband's here because he's learning all of the things. Sometimes it's my best friend. Sometimes it's my sponsor. It just depends, but I have to have that person to keep me accountable, because my brain is 1,000 different places all the time. So my system is I email, and this has changed since I become a director. I send my email on Mondays. I always show up in my team page every single day. Every single day. It might just be one post. It might be 15 posts, depends on the day, but I show up every single day. They're going to see me. Like today was a bad day. I'm having a really hard time with my arm. I've been in a lot of pain for the last 2 days. So today was just a shout out. I mean, but you know what? They still saw my face. I was on my team page like a lot yesterday. Today was just a shout out, but I needed to take the downtime to let my arm rest and just kind of decompress because I've been in a lot of pain. It's just, the systems is to keep you accountable. There are checkoff lists that I have, the daily tasks. These can be found in the leadership, legacy leaders. They're the daily task checkoffs. And I will go through these. Some of them I don't use, some of them I do, but it keeps me consistent to my team because the thing I always want is for them to see me showing up. And that's really the basis of training. If you are not showing up, and I'll say this, if you're not showing up for yourself, you're not showing up for your team. And showing up for yourself is showing up for your team. So what does that look like? If you're a leader, that looks like training, that looks like going live coaching. It looks like sending the emails. It looks like teaching people how to do what we're doing right here. That is what showing up for yourself is and your team. And I did a training on that last night. And I'm going to share it with the leaders group too. Using the coaching systems. There is also a outline in Legacy Leaders, and I believe Whitney, you're the one that shared it, of how questions to ask, an outline for the actual coaching thing. That's what I use because I'm still getting used to all the coaching, and if it works, I want to follow it until I can figure out what works for me. And that's the biggest blessing that we have in the group that we have is everything that people have done to become successful is available to us right now in the files. And use it. If you don't have your own, use what is available to you until you figure it out yourself. So that's what I do. The next one is creating videos to train your team. there's that live again, or there's that video again. I love it because why? Because it's terrifying. But the only way that people are going to get to know you is if they see your face. We live in a world where everybody is so spread out, but yet we're very, very close together because we have the internet available to us. I have been I have done and dabbled in direct sales for over 10 years. The first direct sales company that I ever was a part of was Mary Kay. And there was no such thing as this right here. It was a call. You got on a phone call, like a Zoom phone call, but you didn't have the live trainings. You didn't have the Facebook lives. If you couldn't get to the like weekly or monthly meeting, you just missed it. That's what it was. You didn't have this access. You didn't have the ability to get on a meeting like this with people that are in different states all over the United States. And it's amazing that we have this, but we are in a technical world, and this is the way of the future. So if you are not comfortable with lives and you are not comfortable with trainings, you need to get there. You have to get there. I still stumble over my words. I can't believe that I'm sitting right here right now, but I prayed for it. So here I am, and we're doing this. And it took every bit of me to go live, but now I have to, because I have to be able to show up and train my people. And if they're not seeing me, if they're not seeing my face, when we live in such a technical world now, it's almost like I don't exist, if that makes sense. So you need to do videos. You need to go on and train. You need to show them how you're working. You need to show them what it looks like to be a leader and go live, because if you're not, they're not. That's just what it boils down to. If you don't do it, your team, your people, the people that you want to come up and be successful, they're going to mimic what you do. They are. And if you're not showing up, and if you're not posting, and if you're not going live, they're not going to do it. And then they're not going to grow. And I don't want to say this is the only way that you will grow, but being in front of people this way is a huge part of it. I'm getting text messages all over the place. And then coaching, challenging your downline. Most all of us know what it means to challenge and set goals for our people. We want to give them the opportunity to reach goals that we will be able to praise them for. We want to make it exciting. We want to give them an opportunity to, what I'm trying to say, give them an opportunity to shine, I guess, because everybody likes to shine. So that's what the downline, the challenging your downline and helping them exceed their goals. That is what the challenges are for. So make it exciting. Right now, I'm trying to go along with the Beauty and the Beast thing because I'm super excited about it. It's my favorite movie of all time. So instead of the Cinderella challenge, and I think, was it Nikki or Katrina that shared that, I'm actually putting together a Beauty and the Beast challenge. And I'm going to share that with you guys once I have the wording mapped out, but I'm excited about it. Whether my team does it or not, it's going to be exciting to me, and they're going to be able to exceed that excitement, and hopefully they'll want to do it and push for that in the same way. And then the last thing before I talk about the self-care, because that's really important to me, is the connecting with your teams. And it says connect with your team and incentives. You definitely always want to push your team to hit the incentives. You want them to do that. My testimony about the incentives is last year, I joined in May, and the incentive, it was the Grow with the Flow incentive. I was able to hit level 1. It was huge. That was like a huge success for me. I was so excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, 1 month in, I was able to do it. That's amazing. Looking back now, I wish I would have pushed harder. I wish I would have known how to push harder. But I didn't really understand what the Grow with the Flow was. Like, it just happened. I was like, what was that? Even though my sponsor told me about it, I was still so new and trying to figure so many things out that I really didn't understand, like, oh, it's an extra incentive. I thought it was part of the Sensational Start. Looking back, I wish I would have pushed harder, because the difference between level 1 that I hit, pushing for level 2 or level 3, even if I would have hit level 2, I would be on the Disney trip. Like, let that sink in. I was that close. Had I had those extra points, my family and I would be going to Disney. And you know what I mean? So you want to encourage your people to try to hit these things, because when you encourage them to hit the incentives and grow and all of that, once things start clicking, especially when they have the aha moment like I did, you're actually blessing them with more, if that makes sense. When you push them to grow, you're actually pushing them to bless themselves with more. It's not about being mean. And it's not about you hitting numbers. It's literally about giving them every single opportunity they can have with Scentsy. And then iron sharper, connecting with your team. So I'm a big believer in connecting one-on-one with people. I want to talk to them. I want to have a conversation. And so no matter what, always reach out personally to any person that comes on your team, whether it's your personal front line, your downline, or your generations down, because they need to know who you are. Because if they don't know who you are, then they don't feel like you're truly a real person that they can connect with and grow with. So they need to know who you are, even if it's just an email, say, hey, welcome to the team, or, hey, I see you. I had a downline the other day. I reached out to you. I'm like, I just want you to know I see you. It was personal, and I just want to be like, hey, you have a wonderful day, but I want you to know that you're an amazing business owner, and I see everything that you're doing, and just keep going. It was just that personal touch to reach down, because I wanted them to connect with me. I want to connect with everybody. And it doesn't have to be all at once. That's another thing that I'm learning. Like, we had a lot of hyper growth during April and May. So it might take you a little bit to reach down. It doesn't have to be all at once, but as long as you do it and you're actively working towards it, you will eventually get there. And then the last thing is iron sharpens iron. That is basically showing up for them so they will show up for you. If you show up for them, they're going to show up for you, because there is not one person here in this meeting right now, or that's part of the Simply Grace and Grit group as a whole, that does not have something to bring to this table. You have to inspire people to show up, because I promise you they have something to teach you. And when you're showing up for them and they're showing up for you, you're growing together. It's not one person growing and trying to pull the other one up. You're literally growing together by teaching and learning together, instead of just going, okay, well, you got everything, I'm going to go over here. Stay with them. Be the iron that sharpens the other iron, and grow with them together. So the last thing is self-care. Most everyone knows what self-care means. Take care of yourself, take care of your brain, take care of your everything. But what I see when I look at this, self-care is at the top. If you take self-care away, those legs are going to fall apart. That top literally holds the legs together. So if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not having something poured into yourself, whether it's quiet Bible time, whether it's meditation, I don't know where, everybody is in different walks of life, whether that's going for a walk, going to get a massage, even if it's going for a drive. I love driving back old country roads. It's very soothing to me. Whatever that is, you have to try to get that in. Otherwise, you are going to get burnout. That's what it is. It's not that you're going to quit. You're just going to get burnt out. And once you hit that burnout, you have to have a lot of self-motivation and the ability to push yourself to come out of that. What I talked to my team last night is nobody can show up for you. You have to show up for you, because nobody can do it for you. That's it. That's the basis of it. If you don't show up for yourself to take care of yourself, if you don't show up for yourself to motivate yourself, if you don't show up for yourself to show up for your business, if you don't cheer yourself on, if you do not take care of yourself and show up for yourself, no one is going to do it for you, because they can't. You are the only person that can do this. You're the only person that can take care of yourself, because you're the only person that knows yourself well enough to know what you need. I mean, my husband knows me really well, but there are sometimes like, yo, I don't even know. I'd be crazy. like, I don't know what you need to take a bath. Like, get out, you know what I mean? Like, and it's really like, I'm overwhelmed. I'm like, yeah, I need to go take a bath, like take the kids. And part of showing up for yourself, is making sure that you don't get to that point where you're like, I can't do it anymore. If you're starting to feel like that, step back, take a breath, reevaluate, go for the walk, have the meditation, have the prayer time, go for the drive, recoup, and then come back to it. And another thing too that I have found, if you are feeling like you're burning out, it's because you're not pouring into yourself. Some of that means the meditation, but a lot of that means that you're not training yourself. You've basically given everything that you have, and you have not gone to get more to fill your cup back up so you can give to your team. And I mean, that I had that happen. Like, I'm like, I don't know if I have anything else left to give. And it was because I was neglecting that part of training yourself, taking the time to make sure that your brain is growing and that you're doing and growing your business and yourself and your business. And so that's really all I have left to say to you guys is you have to take care of yourself. You have to be your biggest motivator because you're the only one that knows what motivates you. If money motivates you, great, go after it. You know, if cheering people on and being inspirational and encouraging people is what motivates you, do that. You're the only one that knows how to motivate you. We can be here, we can post all the graphics, we can come on and give all the lives, we can push you, we can tell you all the things, we can cheer you on, but until you can do it for yourself, what we do does not matter. What we do and what others do for you should be that extra. You should be able to pull yourself up and motivate yourself and cheer yourself on because you're the only one that knows how you work and how you function the best. And then the last thing is, with all of this, failure is a choice. You choose whether or not you fail. Nobody chooses that for you. If you're not showing up, that's because you chose not to. If your team is not growing, it's because maybe they're choosing it for themselves, but you have to choose to grow. If your team is staying stagnant, grow your team, change the game, do something, but you keep growing. The only way you fail is if you choose to fail. There have been a whole lot of people that have lost major companies, lost everything, and they're still extremely successful because even in that failure that they thought, they said, nope, this isn't the end for me. And they kept going. So you have to choose to keep going. And that's where your why comes in. It has to be rooted really deep. So you know exactly what you're here for, that when things get hard, your first choice is not, I'm giving up. Your first choice is, this is really hard, but let's figure it out because I'm about to keep going. I'm about to move forward. So that's all I have for you guys. I hope that you got something from that.
Go for it, Katrina, all yours.
I don't even know how I'm supposed to follow that up. Okay. I don't even know how I'm supposed to follow that up because this is why, like Casey and I talked earlier, and I was like, you should definitely go first. She's got the way more passionate topic. So I get to talk to you guys about trainings. I get to do a training on trainings, right? But I hope that I can inspire you, inform you. So I'm Katrina. I'm director for Empowering Sense. And yeah, we're just gonna dig right into it. I promise to be as quick as possible to not take up a lot of time, even though Whitney's telling me not to worry about time, but so first and foremost, what is a training? Because I get so many people where I'm like, oh my gosh, could you please share that training you did on our team page? And they'll go, what training? What are you talking about? That wasn't a training. Yes. A training is literally just when you can show someone else how to do something, period. No matter what the topic is, whether it's literally showing someone how to do something, or if you just feel it in your heart that you need to speak about something to, like, I don't know who needs to hear this today, but something was just telling me I needed to talk about not giving up today. And I bet you after you're done doing that, you're going to get at least 2 messages from people saying, oh my gosh, I needed that so bad today. People that you might not even know. So anything that you can show someone else how to do something, how to get through something, things like that. So I wanted to give you guys some examples of types of trainings that you guys could do. First and foremost, the easiest thing to start with is Tip Tuesday. It's why all of us do Tip Tuesday. We encourage y'all to share on the leaders page what Tip Tuesday you do. So, because it could give another leader an idea like, oh, I need to do a Tip Tuesday on that. That was a really good training. How you're leading, how you're working, Both of those things though, don't be vague with them. Not like, oh, I'm doing follow-ups today and I'm packaging up orders. No, you can do a training with literally, this is how I do my follow-ups. These are my systems that I use. Share your systems. If you're packaging up orders, you know, linking where you get all your supplies from. If you have a system and how you package things up, if you make sure that you add certain things to every single order, the timeline that you have, anything can be broken down. Break it down like you're trying to explain it to someone who has never done this before, okay? Ways to get PRV, that's a whole plethora of trainings right there. I mean, just pick something. Parties alone is like probably 7 or 8 different trainings you could do just on different types of parties, okay? How you market our LTOs. If you email your customers, share what your email looks like. If you personally reach out to people, how you're sharing in your stories, how to share on a story. Some people don't even know how to do that. How you're having join and host conversations, sharing what those real conversations look like, even when you get no's, because your team needs to see that their leader gets no's too. Okay, they need to see that. I feel like it humbles you to admit that you get no's. Okay. Upselling, that's a really great way, a really great training to do. How to navigate the workstation. Yes, I understand we have tutorials on the workstation, but sometimes just hearing someone else say it, that's the other thing with trainings. You can literally do a training that someone else has done and say the same thing verbatim, and it's going to click different for someone else. Just because you have a different inflection in the way that you speak, maybe you show one minor thing differently that it makes someone go, oh my gosh, now I get it. You doing a training that someone else has done is not you copying them. That is you giving someone else an opportunity for a light bulb moment. Okay. When in doubt, always, 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 if you have no idea what to do a training on, take it back to basics. Take it back to basics. How are you booking parties? What do your parties look like? How do you pull a report? How do you open and close a party on the workstation? Those are all trainings that you can do. And I say that because I can tell you for a fact that besides the directors on here, no one has done any of those trainings that I've seen. Because we automatically assume they're on the workstation or they can Google it, or why should I recreate the wheel? Because one of the main reasons you do trainings is to get your face out there for your team. The people on your team, the people on your director's team need to know who you are. They need to see your face. I would hate for someone, considering I'm like, me and Anya, we are some of Whitney's like OG consultants, teamies that we've been on her team since she started basically, right? How crazy would it be if we just stopped doing trainings for you guys? And then like 2 months, look at Whitney's eyes, please don't do that. If we just stopped doing trainings for like 2 months and then came back in it, and these new people, we'd be like, hey guys, we're back. They'd be like, I don't know who these people are. I don't ever want someone on Simply Grace and Grit, let alone my own team, Empowering Sense, to be like, I don't know who that is. Are you kidding me? These people need to know who you are. They need to know that you are a leader on this team, whether you're a director or not. So where can you find trainings? Okay. First and foremost, the training tab on your workstation. Use that. Oh my gosh, because not only am I talking to you guys about you providing trainings, I'm talking to you guys about training yourselves too. Okay. The consultant calendar is amazing. Did you guys know that they offer weekly trainings on the consultant calendar? There's one that's like a Zoom that is all consultant titles open to everyone. When you hit director, there's also a weekly director and above call. But then there's also the ones that they do on their Facebook page, on the Sensi Family Consultants page. They do 2 of those a week. They do Tuesdays at 2, and I forget what the one on Thursday is called, but Jason does one, and I feel so bad for forgetting her name. They're really pretty blonde. Sarah, yes. And she does the other one. So that right there, Sensi Family Consultants, training tab of your workstation, consultant calendar, your director's team page is filled with trainings for you to just search your director's team page for what you're looking for. Promise you'll probably find something. You'll probably find a training. And guess what? If you don't find one, do one. Okay. Your SSD's leader page. So I'm talking legacy leaders and I'm talking anchored in leaders. So much valuable information and trainings on both of those pages. Use them. Facebook has lots and lots of pages and groups that are specifically dedicated to trainings. I'm actually going to link, put a list up, and I will have everything linked for you guys, along with YouTube channels on all of the people that a lot of us follow. I absolutely encourage you guys to add to that list. I will post it in the Dive Into Director group as soon as this call is done. I have it saved on my phone and ready to copy and paste in there for you guys. So it's a nice condensed list of everything. And then something that I actually added on here today, and so it was really funny that Whitney was mentioning it earlier, is SFR and World Tour. Those are training opportunities. Those, as you get higher in title, you might even be asked to provide a training at SFR and World Tour. Cough, cough, wink, wink, Anya. And we're all going to totally lift her up and be so excited for her and give all the positive feedback for that. Seriously, because that's what we do. So yeah, and especially, come on, like Whitney said earlier, like it's $11. And I'm never one to say it's only $11, but you guys, we've had months to save $11. Okay. If you actually don't have the $11, then you need to be pushing as hard as you can this month to get an extra $11 on your paycheck so that you can register next payday. Okay. You need to make it a priority to feed your brain. Oh, and by the way, another example of something, sorry, I have arrows and stuff all over my notes. I have on here is examples of trainings, literally anything you are good at. Literally anything you're good at. If you guys noticed in the Legacy Leaders page, I actually challenged you guys, and I was actually disappointed because I don't even know the percentage of people. It was a very small amount of people, where it was before this program, before we even announced this program. I challenged all the leaders to pick one thing that they were good at and to do a quick training on their director's page. Why? Because that was a requirement to be in this group. It was a requirement to be in this group. So anything you're good at, everyone is good at something. I don't care if you joined last week, you're good at something. We just, as your leaders, we just don't know what that is yet because you just joined. But even if you joined 5 years ago, you're good at something. Everyone has something to contribute to their director's team page. Okay, and that leads me to, where do you do the trainings? First and foremost, until you are a director, you do those trainings on your director's team page, period. You do them on your director's team page first, then feel free to share it to any of the other pages, including your team page, okay? Because a lot of you guys, if you're a star or above, you probably have your own team page. Share to your director's team page first. Encourage your teamies to share to your director's page first until you hit director, okay? This is a really big, I don't know if I want to call it a pet peeve of mine, is how often should you be doing trainings? When should you be doing them? In my opinion, this is just my opinion, but you know what they say, like, this is me actually tooting my own horn. Successful people do what successful people do. You can look at any of the directors that are on this call, and all of us do trainings at a minimum weekly. At a minimum weekly, more than likely it's more than once a week, okay? So for you, as a lead, a star, a superstar, as an aspiring director, if you want to be like a director, you got to act like one. And what do? We provide trainings. When do we provide trainings? That's why I said the easiest thing to start with is Tip Tuesday. So at a minimum, in my opinion, like I said, just my opinion, you should be doing them weekly. But the main thing is to be consistent with them. If you can't commit to doing a weekly training on your director's page, that's fine. I would rather you be consistent and maybe say, okay, I'm going to make a point to do a training on the 1st of every month. And then maybe after a few months, go, okay, maybe I could do a training on the 1st and the 15th of every month. But the goal is to get you to be sharing consistently, because it's just showing up is just like PRV. Yeah, it's great when you can pull high PRV every once in a while, but it doesn't, I'm going to pour more into someone who is consistently putting in, say, 800 to 1K versus someone who pulls in, and I mean per month, versus someone who can pull 6K in 1 month, but then they can even get active the next month. I want consistency. And it's the same thing with showing up for your team and showing up for your director and literally just showing up in general. It's, yeah. But like I said, the main thing is to show up and do those trainings on your director's page first. It's great that you have your own team page, but until you hit director, you need to be sharing any training that you do, unless you are just like, maybe you have like a Motivation Monday kind of post training that you do with your team every Monday. I'm not telling you to stop doing that with your team. But what I am telling you is maybe change your perspective on it and know that if you have a team of like 10 people, but your director has a team of like 75 people, if maybe what you're saying, what if someone on that director's page needs to hear what you're saying? You know what I mean? Like if you feel so compelled to talk about something, why wouldn't you want to share it in all the places? Okay. I feel like a lot of people are going to cringe at this next topic, but because I asked today on the director page and I was actually shocked at the response. I want to talk to you guys about the benefits of having a YouTube channel, because when you hit director, it is, at least for me, I feel like I can speak for Whitney and Anya too. We very strongly encourage you to have your own YouTube channel. If not for you to have, like, yes, the end goal is for you to have a place to like upload your videos to, so that it is easily accessible to people, so that when you have a teamie that asks about PRV or mystery bags or whatever, you can go, oh, I did a training on that like 6 months ago. Here's the link. Okay, that's great. But even if you don't have content on it, you need one just to keep track of all of the amazing people that you can subscribe to on YouTube. Because you guys, if you are only getting training from your upline, God, you're doing yourself a disservice. You have got to look outside of your upline. And I'm not saying that like your upline isn't providing you the leadership or the training that you deserve. I'm saying that I feel that the more you branch out of your upline from training, for looking at trainings, I feel like the less likely you are to fall into the pattern when you hit director of, I have to do this because my director did this, because this is all I know. Okay. There are so many great leaders company-wide that you can subscribe to and just see how a lot of them put their team meetings up just to see how they do their meetings, how they get engagement with their teams, how they get engagement with their customers. There are people who on their YouTube channels, it is strictly like business stuff, and it's not even like sensey stuff, but just, you need to branch out from just your upline. Look to what other successful people, because while our team, Simply Grace and Grit, while Anchored Sense is an amazing group of people, there are so many more successful people in this business it's okay to go, oh my gosh, I don't even know who this person is, but every time she talks, I could listen to her talk all day. Like, because you will find someone who you will click with. And if you're like me, you'll totally fangirl over them. So, but like I said, it gives you a place, having a YouTube channel, having a YouTube account, I will say, it just gives you a spot to have everything organized. And if you're like some people who struggle with organization, like it's just nice. It puts them all in alphabetical order for you. You subscribe to them, they subscribe back to you. Like it's just like any other social media platform, like, you know, and you get notified every time they put a new training up. So how cool is it that like someone who I look up to a lot is Chastity Robinson, okay? Not on her team page, but I get notified every time she puts up a new training. And there are days where I will legit stop what I am doing and watch what she's got. Like, okay, Chastity's got something to say. I need to listen to it. I don't care what I'm doing, or I'll listen to it while I'm doing what I'm doing. Like, you find people that you just click with where you want to hear what they have to say. And here's the really cool thing that Whitney used to say to me all the time, and I touched on this a little bit last night with you guys. One day, you are going to be that person for someone. One day, you are going to be the person that they're going to be like, oh my gosh, like when people ask like, oh, favorite YouTubers that you follow, like for trainings, when someone tags you in that, like for real, y'all, like I've cried over that before, because I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like I just put up my recordings from when I go live on my team page, but you know what? That it lets people see who you are as a real person. And what's really cool about YouTube is that you have the opportunity to touch so many more people that aren't even on your team, people that you don't even know, okay? If another leader asks you to do a training, I don't care what it is, you say yes. You say yes. If Whitney has shouted me and Anya out several times, if she's ever asked, we do it. Y'all, it's scary. It is scary to do a training. Like Casey was saying, literally my hands are so sweaty right now. My face is so red. I had my husband go get my ring light so you guys wouldn't see how red my face is. Like, it's nerve-wracking. I stumble, I squirrel with my notes, like it's ridiculous. And the big thing is though, is that we just do it. So when another leader comes to you, if your director comes to you and says, hey, I would really love for you to be the speaker on our meeting this month, say yes. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if you say no, that's gonna stick with your director for a little bit. And it's like, if you come to me, and I can only speak for me, but if you come to me like later on that month and you say like, I need help with XYZ, that's hard for me when it's like, but I really wanted you to do a training on this and you couldn't be bothered to do it because you were scared. Your directors do not ask you to do anything, one, that they wouldn't do or haven't done already. And there's a reason. There is a reason we ask you to do the things that we ask. I promise. It is not, we do not sit back and like, you know, it's not like a drinking game or something like, oh, let's see how many people we can get to go live this month. Sorry, you can hear my husband laughing. You know, it's not like it's not like that. It's, if we're asking you guys, if you are asked to do a training, it is to make you better as a leader. Period. It's to make you be better as a leader. Because like I said, the whole goal is to have your face in front of other leaders and other teamies, okay? You need to be coachable and you need to be trainable. You need to be a sponge, okay? You need to be a sponge. In my opinion, I feel like you should make a goal, and this is such a low goal, like I felt like really stupid for even writing this down because I was like, I do way more than this. But at a minimum, you should be feeding your brain. You should be listening to at least one training a week. I honestly listen to probably about 5 a week. Some of them are 5 minutes. Some of them are an hour long. I like to listen to a lot of stuff like podcasts or YouTube trainings when I'm in the shower, when I'm in the car. Like my kids, Grayson is 5. He knows Chastity's voice, Whitney's voice, Chloe's voice. Like he knows their voices. He doesn't even need to see the picture on my phone, but he knows it because he hears it over the speakers in the car. Like he just knows who they are. But try to make a goal of listening to just one training a week. Okay. And when you find a really good training, a bomb training that just gets you so hyped up, so fired up, you need to share that on your director's page. Share it to your team page too, but share it to your director's page, or better yet, recreate it. Recreate it. Like I said earlier, it is not copying. If you watch an amazing training on how to book parties and you try it and it works for you, do a training on it yourself and go, oh my gosh, I watched this amazing training by Melissa Gratz and she had this crazy idea and I tried it, and you guys, you've got to do it too. And this is what I did. And put your own spin on it and talk about it. That's what a training is. It's not some long drawn out, like complicated thing. Literally press the live button. Yes, I want to tell you to take notes. I want to tell you to take notes so that you don't squirrel, so that you stay on topic, so that you stay focused. But honestly, some of the best trainings that I have had, like the best feedback that I've gotten from my team, are ones where I don't have notes, where I literally just go live. And I fumble through my words sometimes, but I get super fired up and passionate about something. And people are like, oh my God, this was amazing. So like, yeah, if you need to take notes, that's cool. But if you are better at just like go, and I hope Whitney's not mad at me for saying that, because sometimes you guys, I get super fired up about stuff and I probably shouldn't press live, if I'm being honest. But your team needs to see that passion. Your director needs to see that passion. Because guess what? When something bothers you to the point that you feel you need to go live and talk to your team about it, that shows your director that, oh, this girl, she is passionate. She wants this. She wants this so bad, because look how much this is upsetting her. Like that there's this kind of vibe right now on our team and she's trying to fix it. You know, like that just tells us as your leader that you want this so much. You want it like we did, like we still do. Because, you know, not everybody, you're not going to find another you on your team. They're like 1 in a million. But damn it, when you find the person that you're just like, oh my God, you're just like me when I joined. This is amazing. This is amazing. It's like, I don't want to, like, no, you let me know what I can do for you. Like, what do you need from me? Like, because you're doing all the things and I haven't had to do a damn thing as your leader. Like, listen, train yourself. Do not wait to be trained. Train yourself. Okay. Like I said earlier, just plain and simple, successful people do what successful people do. It is not me tooting my own horn. It is just stating facts, okay? What do successful people do? We train our teams. We do whatever our sponsor, whatever our director asks us to do. Like, don't get any wild ideas. But Whitney could ask me to go skinny dipping in Myrtle Beach, and I'd probably be like, she's asking me for a reason. It's not because she wants to see the boobies, you know, like, I feel bad. This is recording. You can cut that. But you know what I mean? Like, my sponsor is not going to ask me to do something just for like shits and giggles. She's asking me for a reason. We say yes regardless. Like Anya said earlier, I think it was her training today, where she was really nervous about saying yes to doing the training for SFR. Doesn't matter. She said yes. Because you're always going to kick yourself if you say no. You're going to have the what if I had done that? What if I had done that? What if that's the one thing your sponsor, your director asks you to do a training and you say no? What if that was the one thing that like tweaked your business? and just completely changed your path. Because I can tell you right now, I said yes to doing a training for, God, I don't know how many thousands of people have viewed it, but that's the training that got me to start my YouTube channel. And it was during transition month, this last catalog. And I know for a fact having a YouTube channel has changed certain people's lives, because I've gotten random messages from people on YouTube, random comments on my trainings, people I don't know, friend requests from people that say, hey, I hope this isn't weird, but like, I saw that we're in the same groups, but I saw you on YouTube. What? That's crazy to me. All because I did that training. Last but not least, if you want to be a director, you got to act like one. You got to act like one. And you doing trainings for your team on your director's page, because I will say that till I'm blue in the face, on your director's page, that is you stepping up and showing your team that you're stepping up as a leader. Because you can say all day long that you want to be a director, but if you don't act like one, do you really want it? I don't want to hear anything about, don't give me excuses about why you can't go live. You have anxiety. I do too. I'm medicated for it. I'm actually not medicated for it right now. I'm unmedicated with my anxiety, okay? There's no excuse you can throw at me, because we have had people on our team who have gone through life-altering devastation, who still made their business a priority, who still want it. So you telling me that you're scared to go live to do a training for your team? I'm not even going to waste my time with it. Like, all right, fine. I asked you to do it. You said no. Next. The last thing that I will say is, when you step up, your downline will too, because they know it's the standard that you have set. And I say that as Whitney is our superstar director. Something that I have always said about Whitney is she sets the standard for our team. I've said that since I was a lead. She absolutely sets the standard for our team. And when we hit director, we continue that standard, and it goes down every freaking generation. Do not let that cycle break with you. You set the standard for your team. You set the tone for your team. And it will eventually just be known that this is just what we do. It's just what we do. You don't have to be a director to provide a training on your director's team page. You don't. Some of the best trainings that I've had on my team page in the last 3 months have been from essential consultants. Essentials, not even certified people, okay? And guess what? A lot of those essential consultants are now superstar consultants. Y'all know who I'm talking about. So I love y'all. That was it.
That was amazing. Y'all know I got to reiterate a few things though before we go. Casey and Katrina, that was fire. Literally, I was all the preach hands. Yes, you can ask Eric. I'm over here talking to myself. So good. 2 things about training: stop making it hard. And Katrina said this, but stop making it a big deal. And that's the thing, it's not hard to do. If you've got to do baby steps and you've got to record a video first, then upload it, or whatever you have to do, I don't care what you do, show your face and do a training. Okay. Stop making it hard. Stop making it a big deal. Stop giving all the reasons why you can't. Like Katrina literally just said, we don't want to hear it. And then the flip side of the trainings, you need to be trainable. And Katrina said that too. Huge. As a leader, as a director, as a star director, as a superstar director, you have to be trainable. You have to be coachable. If you get to a point in your business where you think you know it all, you're going to see it trickle down. Mark my words. You're going to see things change in your business very quickly, because I've seen it happen where people think they don't need the help. They don't need the training. They don't need the coaching calls. And that's when things start to go south because you're not actively learning. You're not actively filling your brain. You're not getting a different perspective on your business, of all things. Okay. And then 2 things about 3 legs, balancing that stool. Casey hit on this. Those 4 things, there's 3 legs in a seat. The goal in our business is to balance that stool. I gotta move y'all over here because I'm like looking to the right, but I have to look at someone when I'm talking. But the goal of our whole business is to keep that stool balanced. And just know that it's not always going to be balanced. Okay. You're going to have months where PRV is awesome and you didn't sponsor one person. Or you had a great sponsoring month and a great PRV month, but you didn't do any coaching calls. And that's okay. Okay. As long as, again, you're actively trying and reaching to do those things, and your goal is to keep it balanced. Your goal is to be able to have that sturdy foundation. See that stool as your whole business. Okay. And then under self-care, something that's super important, and y'all probably, it's not going to hit you hard right now because you're a new leader, but boundaries. Boundaries are a huge part of self-care. Boundaries with people in your life, boundaries with your teammates, boundaries with your leaders, all boundaries with everything, everybody in life. You get to say yes or no. And you don't get to, or you don't have to be the person that's always everything for everybody, because that's when burnout happens. Okay. It's okay to say no to a teammate who wants a coaching call tomorrow or next week. It's okay to say no to decline a call or a text. Okay. You have to set those personal boundaries, AKA business hours. If you don't have business hours, you need to set them with a good understanding of what that means. Okay. Business hours is not when you work when you're working or when you respond to your customers. Business hours are when you're available to your team, when you're available to answer within 24 hours, pretty much. And that's something that I have to work on too, because a lot of my frontline and my directors are some of my really good friends. And so conversation can veer real fast, right? We can be talking about one thing and it's like, oh, I have this question. That's a little bit different. But if, someone's texting me on Sunday morning at 7 a.m. asking me to give them ideas for PRV, that's a problem. Okay. And then I find out you're not even on my team page. That's a problem because you left. That's a problem. Boundaries. So that's when we step back and say, okay, you need to add yourself to the page and you need to go search, because I cannot be your encyclopedia. I cannot be your dictionary when you have one sitting right there. Okay. Boundaries, self-care. All right. But yeah, that was amazing. Those are the only things that I was like, yes, I need to hit on that. I need to hit on that. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording for tonight.